Hello everyone, I'm Darshana Umari. I welcome you all in this 7-day webinar on Mathematics in Competitive Exams organized by Mathematics Department from PES College of Arts and Science. Here we will learn the topic Simple Interest and Compound Interest. To start with, let us first understand what does these following terms mean. The first term is interest. It is the amount person pays for using someone else's money. Suppose you borrow some money from someone, then for using that money, you have to pay some charge. That is called as interest. Like suppose if you take some money from someone, suppose say rupees 500. While returning those 500 rupees, you will return some extra amount, that is 500 plus rupees 20 maybe, or some amount. That some amount, extra amount which you are returning is called as the interest. Like for example, when we take a loan from the bank, we repay the loan amount, but in addition to that we also pay some more amount which is called as the interest. The next term is principal. Initial money lent, borrowed or invested is called as the principal amount. Okay, so if you have borrowed initially 600 rupees from someone, then that 600 rupees becomes the principal amount. The next term is rate of interest. It is the rate at which interest is charged by the lender for a specific period for the use of money. The interest can be like 5% per annum, 10% per annum, and etc. Rate of interest means the money, extra money which you are giving as a charge, that is the interest, at what rate you have to pay that. That means whether it should be 10% of the principal amount, 5% of the principal amount, 2% of the principal amount, and how frequently it has to be paid. That is, 5% of the principal amount should be paid yearly. Like suppose if you are keeping the money with you for 2 years, you borrowed 500 rupees and you want to keep it for 2 years, then in those 2 years you will have to pay 2 times the interest. So that depends on how the rate of interest is charged. Okay. The next term is time. It is the period for which the money is lent, borrowed or invested. Okay. And the last term is amount. Amount means it's the accumulated balance, that is the final value of the money invested, which is the total of principal and the interest. Okay, so if you have borrowed 500 rupees, then you will be paying time to time some interest for those 500 rupees. Now, amount means that 500 rupees plus the interest that you will be paying. The full amount is called as the amount. That means the final amount. That is the principal along with the interest. Now we shall see what does the simple interest and compound interest means. First we'll see what is the simple interest. Let's take one example. Suppose you have borrowed 1000 rupees and you will keep it for 3 years, and the person from whom you have borrowed 1000 rupees has charged you the interest at the rate of 10% per annum. That means 10% per year. Note that 10% of 1000 means 10 divided by 100 into 1000. So that will come out to be equal to 100. You have borrowed 1000, you will be keeping it for 3 years, and the rate of interest is 10% per annum. So at the end of first year, you will pay rupees 100 as interest. For the second year, you will pay rupees 100, which is the interest. That is 10% of 1000. At the end of third year, you will pay rupees 100, which is 10% of 1000 as the interest. And hence, the final amount will be 1000 plus 300. That is 100 plus 100 plus 100 is the 300, which is the interest. Okay, so you can observe here this principal amount is remaining the same. That means every time you are paying 10% of 1000, 10% of 1000, 10% of 1000. Okay, so the final amount is 1300. Now let us come to the compound interest. Let us keep the situation same. That is, you have borrowed 1000 rupees, and from the person whom you have borrowed 1000 rupees, you are charged the interest as 10% per annum. Okay, that means 10% per year, and you will be keeping the money for 3 years. Now we are looking at the compound interest. So on this principal amount, for the first year, you will pay rupees 100, which is 10% of 1000. Okay. Now, for the second year, you will pay 10% of 1100. From where did we get this 1100? It is 1000 plus 100 is the 1100. You will pay the interest as 110, which is 10% of this number. Okay, so what have you done? You are paying interest on this interest as well. That means your principal amount is changing now. Then for the third year, what will happen is this plus this is what? 1210. You will be paying 10% of this, that is 121. So you can notice here that in compound interest, the principal amount is changing. For the first year, you are paying 10% of 1000. For the next year, you are adding this, and that is this amount, and you are paying the interest as 10% of this amount, and accordingly. So the interest is this plus this plus this, which is equal to 331. Hence the total amount will be 1000 plus this. You can clearly see that the time period for which the money was borrowed is the same, that is 3 years. But in case of simple interest, it's 300, and in case of compound interest, it's 331. That means this is more than this. Okay. Now, one main difference between the simple interest and the compound interest is here you are paying the interest on interest as well. Okay, so it's called as the compound interest. Now we'll look at the formal definition of this. Simple interest, we shall use the short form as SI. It is the amount paid or computed on the original principal amount in an account or on the money lent for the whole borrowing period. Okay. Then next is compound interest. We shall use the short form as CI. It is the interest calculated on the principal and the interest accumulated over the previous year. Here this is important, and the interest accumulated over the previous year. Okay, so you can clearly see from here the principal amount was remaining same in the simple interest, and hence the interest that you are paying is also remaining constant, that is 10% of this. Here every time you are paying 10 at the rate of 10% only, but because your principal amount is changing, the interest that you are paying is also changing. Okay. Let's see, note down some differences between the simple interest and compound interest. Okay. in case on the basis of return from the previous example, it's very clear that in the simple interest it's less as compared to the compound interest. Then the principal amount remains constant in the simple interest and it keeps changing during the entire period in case of the compound interest. In case of simple interest it remains constant and for the compound interest it keeps changing. Okay, then the growth is uniform here, and whereas here it increases rapidly. And why does this happen, increase rapid? Because we are paying interest on interest as well. And interest is charged on the principal amount in case of simple interest, and the interest is charged on principal plus the accumulated interest in case of the compound interest. Okay, what does this mean, principal plus accumulated interest? See here you are paying this interest on 1000 plus this 100. This was actually the interest. So 1000 plus 100 is 110, 1100, and you are paying this interest on this amount. Similarly here you will pay this interest on this amount, which is total of this and this. Now we shall see what is the standard formula for calculating the simple interest. Formula for simple interest. SI is the short form of simple interest, is equal to P into R into T whole thing divided by 100, where SI is simple interest, P is principal, R is rate of interest, T is time. Principal means the amount which you initially borrowed or the amount which you have given to someone or the amount you have lent. Okay, the rate of interest, we have already seen this term, and T is the time or the time period for which you have borrowed the money or you have lent the money. Okay, then A amount is equal to the principal plus the simple interest. Okay, so it comes out to be equal to P plus P into R into T divided by 100. If we take this P common out from this summation, then it becomes P into 1 plus RT divided by 100. So this is the final amount. Like in the previous example, the final amount was 1000 plus 300. That is the final amount. Okay, and the simple interest is just that 300 rupees. The A denotes the amount. Let's see one simple example based on this. Find the interest to be paid on a loan of rupees 6000 at 5% per year for 5 years. Okay, so from here it's clear that principal amount is rupees 6000, rate of interest is 5%, and time period for which the loan is taken or a loan is issued is 5 years. So first write what is the given data. P is equal to 6000, R is equal to 5%, and T is equal to 5. We are asked to find the interest. Okay, so directly we can apply the formula. SI is equal to P into R into T divided by 100. After substitution we get 6000 into 5 divided by 100. So answer comes out to be equal to 1500. This is the simple interest. And what will be the amount in this case? It will be the 6000 plus this interest, which is the amount. Finally, he will have to pay these many rupees. But in the question, we are asked to find just the interest. So the interest is only 1500. Now we will see the formula for compound interest. Okay, so CI, we have already seen that we are using this as a short form for compound interest. CI is equal to A minus P, where this A is the amount. Let us see how to calculate this amount. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R divided by 100. This whole thing raised to t, wherein this r is the rate of interest and t is the time period for which the loan is taken or the money is borrowed or you have lent the money, and p is the principal amount. So, and a denotes the amount. From here, how do we calculate compound interest? Compound interest is equal to this amount minus p. So when we take p common out, what remains is this quantity minus 1. That is, Ci is equal to p into 1 plus r by t, this whole thing raised to t, minus 1. Okay, so while calculating the compound interest, what you have to do is first calculate what is the amount and then minus p. Or instead of doing that, you can directly apply this formula. Okay, then Ci is compound interest, P is principal, R is equal to rate of interest, T is equal to time, A is equal to amount. Note that rate and time will have same unit. What does this mean? It means that if time is given in terms of years, that is, money is borrowed for 2 years, okay, then the rate of interest should be of the form rate of interest is 10% per annum or 5% per annum. It should be per annum. That means in terms of years, and time is also given in terms of years. Okay. Suppose if time is given as 24 months and rate of interest is given as 5% per annum. So you cannot take R to be equal to 5 and T equal to 24. 24 is the months. So you will have to convert those months to years. Okay. Usually when the question is asked, both rate and time are given in terms of the same unit. But if at all it is asked differently, then you should make the unit same. Then A is equal to amount. And one more thing is that this formula is applicable when the interest is compounded annually. Annually means you have to pay the interest after every year. Okay. We also have the different category wherein we pay the interest after 6 months. Okay. Or we pay the interest after 3 months. That is called as quarterly. That means in a year you pay interest 4 times. That is called as quarterly. Okay. So we shall see the formulas for that. When interest is payable yearly, it is amount is equal to this formula, which we have already seen here. It is this formula. When the interest is paid yearly, the amount is changing depending on whether it is yearly, half yearly or quarterly, because the formula of Ci will remain the same. That is amount minus P. Okay. Then when interest is payable half yearly, it is this formula. That is P into 1 plus R divided by 2 into 100. This whole thing raised to 2t. You can remember it this way. If the interest is payable yearly, in 1 year you will pay the interest only once. If the interest is payable half yearly, that means in 1 year you will pay interest twice. That is after 6 months and then second time after the next 6 months. So it is twice. Therefore this 2 time is doubled, because in a year you are paying twice. So the time is doubled. And suppose if in the question it is given as rate of interest is 10% per annum. That means for full year it is 10%. But now you are paying it half yearly. So for half year, what it will be? Full year it is 10. So for half it will be 10 divided by 2. So R 2. R divided by 2. And hence when interest is payable half yearly, formula becomes this. Similarly, when the interest is payable quarterly, quarterly means 4 times. If 1 year we are dividing it into 4 parts, then 3 months becomes the one part. One part is of 3 months, then 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Okay, so total 4 parts. So if the year, in a year, you will have to pay the interest 4 times. Okay, so time will be multiplied by 4, and rate of interest, let's take the same example. If you are charged it 12% per annum, that means 12% for 1 year, and now you are going to pay after every 3 months. So you have to divide the 12 by 4, because total 4 times you will pay the interest in 1 year. Okay, so that will come out to be 3% for 3 months. Hence the formula is A is equal to P into 1 plus R divided by 4 into 100, this whole thing raised to 4T. Next is when interest is payable monthly. That means in a year you will be paying interest 12 times. So time is multiplied by 12. And in the question, if the rate of interest is given in terms of year, then you will have to divide that by 12 to find out what is the rate for 1 month. Okay, hence it will be 12 here, 12 here if it is monthly. So depending on whether it is yearly, half yearly, quarterly or payable monthly, you can decide whether this is 12, 4, 2 and 1. Let's see one example based on this. Find the compound interest on 70,000 for 2 years at the rate of 10% per annum compounded annually. Okay, so from here capital P is equal to 70,000. Rate of interest is 10% per annum. So R is equal to 10 and it is compounded annually. Okay, so T is given in terms of years and rate of interest is also given in terms of years. So here R is equal to 10 and T, that is time, is equal to 2. And this is a question of compound interest. So it is a very direct question. We can directly apply the compound interest formula and find out what is the compound interest. Okay. So first we'll write whatever is given. P is equal to 70,000, R is equal to 10%, T is equal to 2 years. Here interest is compounded annually, so T is equal to 2 and R is equal to 10 directly. Hence we take the compound interest formula. First we'll calculate what is the amount. A is equal to P into 1 plus R divided by 100, that whole thing raised to T. After substitution we get 70,000 into 1 plus 10 divided by 100, this whole thing raised to 2. Okay, we can cancel this 0 and this 0. So it will be 1 plus 1 divided by 10, which is 11 by 10 the whole square. If you calculate this, the answer comes out to be equal to 84700. This is the amount. But we are asked to calculate the compound interest. So what will be the compound interest? It is amount minus the principal value or the principal amount, which is 70,000. So 84700 minus 70,000 is equal to 14,700. This is the compound interest. Let's see one more example. What will be the compound interest on rupees 4,000 in 2 years at the rate of 8% per annum if the interest is calculated half yearly? Okay, it is a question of compound interest. Rate of interest is 8% per annum. T is equal to 2 years and principal amount is 4,000 rupees. But interest is calculated half yearly. Okay, so one more thing, this is given in terms of years, 2 years, and this is 8% per annum. So no need to do any change in the units. Okay, so here we will first write whatever is given. So R is equal to 8%, T is equal to 2 years, and principal amount is equal to 4,000 rupees. First we'll calculate the amount. A is equal to P into 1 plus R divided by 2 into 100. This whole thing raised to 2 into T. This we are multiplying it by T, and here R we are dividing it by 2 because this is half yearly. Okay. After substitution we get 4,000 into 1 plus 8, 2 into 100. This whole thing raised to 2 into 2. This 2 into 2 becomes 4, and here this 2 gets cancelled with this 8. So 2 ones are 2 and 2 fours are 8. So this remains as 4 divided by 100, which you can see here. 4 divided by 100. This is 1 plus 4 divided by 100. 4,000 is the principal amount. This is 104 divided by 100. If you calculate this, we get 4679.43. This is the amount we are asked to calculate the compound interest. So that will be amount minus principal. So answer comes out to be equal to 679.43. This is slightly a different case of compound interest. Okay, all this time we have seen that the rate of interest is same for every year. That means in the question it's given as at the rate of 10% per annum or at the rate of 5% per annum. Okay, but there can be the situation where the rate of interest is changing. Means for the first year it is 5% and for the second year it is 15%. If that is the case, then the formula for amount changes in this way, and the formula for compound interest remains the same, that is amount minus P. Only the way how you calculate amount changes. That is, if it was just the same rate throughout the period of the loan or throughout the period for which you have borrowed the money, then the formula would be 1 plus that rate raised to the time. But now, if suppose it's only for 2 years, and for the first year the rate is X% and for the second year the rate is Y%, then the formula will look like this. So if the compound interest is calculated at the rate of X% for first year and Y% for second year, then the amount A is equal to P into 1 plus X divided by 100 into 1 plus Y divided by 100. Okay. If it was for 3 years and it was X%, Y% and Z%, then there would be one more term appearing here. Okay. So accordingly it will change. There can be one more case, like for the initial 2 years it is X%. Then this will be 1 plus X divided by 100 raised to 2. And for the third year it is Y%. Then it will be 1 plus Y divided by 100. But we will be looking only at this case. CI, the compound interest, is equal to A minus P, which is amount, which is given by this formula, minus the principal amount. We'll see one example on this. The example is given with regard to the population increase and population decrease. Okay, the population of a particular area A of a city is 5,000. It increases by 10% in the first year. It decreases by 20% in the second year due to some reasons. In the third year, the population is increased by 30%. What will be the population of area A at the end of third year? Okay, so here how the population is changing during those 3 years is given to us. Initially the population is 5,000, then it increases by 10%, then it decreases by 20%, and again in the third year it increases by 30%. Okay, so accordingly this formula will be P is the present population and it is increasing, decreasing and in the third year again it is increasing. So we are asked to find what will be the population after third year. In this case, it is just the amount. That means it is only this quantity that we are asked to find. We are not asked by how much the population has changed or what is the difference between the new population and the current population. Okay, we are just asked what will be the final population. That means at the end of third year, what will be the population. So first P is equal to 5000, that is the current population, and then in the first year it is increasing by 10%. So it is plus x divided by 100. Here x is equal to 10. In the second year it is decreasing by 20%. So minus y divided by 100 and y is equal to 20. In the third year it is increasing by 30%. So therefore it is plus z divided by 100, and in this case z is equal to 30. So if we calculate this, we can cancel out this 0 and 0. So this will be 1 plus 1 divided by 10, which is 11 by 10. Here you can cancel this 0 and this 0. It will be 1 minus 2 divided by 10, which is 8 by 10. Here you can cancel out this 0 and this 0. It becomes 1 plus 3 divided by 10, which is 13 by 10. And this answer comes out to be 5720. Population at the end of third year will be 5720. Let us see some examples. A man earns rupees 450 as interest in 2 years on a certain sum of money invested in company at the rate of 12% per annum. Find the sum invested by the man in the company. Okay, so it's given that man earns rupees 450. That means the interest which is earned is given to us as interest. He earns 450 as interest. For the time period, T is equal to 2 years and the rate of interest is given as 12% per annum. Okay, and it's not given that it is a compound interest, so it's the simple interest. And how do we calculate the simple interest? Simple interest formula is given by P into R into T divided by 100, where P is principal amount, R is rate of interest and T is time period. Let us first note down what is given. That is, R is equal to 12%, simple interest is 450, T is equal to 2 years, and we are asked to find the sum invested by the man in the company. That means we are asked to find out what is the principal amount. So let the sum invested be equal to P. You can take this to be equal to P or X or any variable that you wish to take. Okay, so directly we can apply the simple interest formula. We only have one unknown. We can find that out by simply substituting the values in this formula. So SI equal to P into R into T divided by 100. After substitution we get simple interest is 450, P is unknown, R is 12, T is 2 divided by 100. So this comes out to be equal to, take this 100 on this side, it becomes 45,000 is equal to P into 12 into 2 is 24. So you can take 24 this side divided by 45000 divided by 24 is equal to P. This answer comes out to be equal to 1857. Therefore, man had invested rupees 1857 in the company. Okay, so this is the principal amount which he had invested. Let's see one more example. At what interest rate per annum in 4 years a sum of rupees 5000 will become 6000? Okay, so it is given that a sum of rupees 5000 becomes 6000 in 4 years, and we have to find out what is the rate of interest. Okay, so this becomes the principal amount and it becomes 6,000. That means this is the final amount, that is A, and T is given as 4 years and R is unknown. So P is equal to 5,000, T is equal to 4 years, A is equal to 6,000. Let the rate of interest be equal to R. We can simply put this in the formula of simple interest and find out what is the value of R. Okay, A is given to us, so we can take A equal to P into 1 plus R into T divided by 100, where R is rate of interest, T is the time. A is the final amount. In simple interest, how is the final amount given? It is the sum of principal amount plus the simple interest. And by putting the simple interest formula and taking P common out, we get the formula of amount to be equal to this. After substitution, we get 5,000 into 1 plus R into 4 divided by 100. Okay, and A is equal to 6,000. Here you can see that this is 6,000 divided by 5,000 into this, and this 0, 0, 0 will get cancelled with this 0, 0 and 0. We will be left with 6 divided by 5. Okay, and this 1 we can take it on the other side, it becomes minus 1. So we will get 6 divided by 5 minus 1 equal to R into 4 divided by 100. 6 divided by 5 minus 1 is nothing but 1 divided by 5 equal to R into 4 divided by 100. 100 we can take it on the other side. So it is 100 divided by 20, because 4 into 5. This 4 can be taken here and 100 here. So it is 100 divided by 20 equal to R. And hence the value of R is equal to 5. Therefore, the rate of interest is 5%. Could have just solved this in other way as well. Observe here that this is a case of simple interest and the principal amount, which is 5,000, is becoming 6,000 in 4 years. Okay, that means it is changing by rupees 1,000. 5,000 becomes 6,000 in 4 years. So there is a difference of 1,000. Rupees 1,000 is added in 4 years. So in 1 year, what could be the interest? It will be the same for all the 4 years, and it has changed by 1,000. So 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. So 250 will be the interest for 1 year. Now we know the interest paid each year. That is, in the first year it is 250, second year it is 250, third year 250 and fourth year 250. So 250 is the interest which is paid. Now we will just have to calculate 250 is what percent of this 5,000. That means if you take 250 divided by 5,000 into 100, you will get the answer as 5%. Okay, so that is how we can solve this orally. Next problem. At a certain rate of interest, money becomes thrice in 5 years. In how many years it will become 27 times? Thrice means 3 times. Okay, so initially if you have deposited or you have lent the money P, okay, then it becomes 3P in 5 years. And we are asked to find out in how many years it will become 27 times. Okay, so first see here, if initially it is P amount, then in 5 years it becomes 3 times of that. That means if it is P, it becomes 3 times P. Okay, so let us take the example. If here there is 100 rupees, then in 5 years those 100 rupees become 300 rupees. Okay, and how does this happen? At some rate of interest, the rate of interest is not mentioned, but in 5 years it becomes triple. Okay, then what will happen is in the next 5 years it will become 3 times of this amount. Okay, and this property is called as the same ratio. Okay, the compound interest increases in same ratio. This you can remember and can be applied in several problems. So initially if it is 100 rupees, in 5 years it becomes thrice. Then in the next 5 years it will become thrice of this amount. Okay, and then in the next 5 years it will become thrice of this amount. For example, we had taken 100 rupees, it will become thrice of that 100, which is 300 in 5 years. In the next 5 years it will become 3 times of 300, which is 900, and in the next 5 years it will become 3 times of 900. What is 3 times of 900? That is 2700, that is 2700. Okay, so you can see that the increase ratio is remaining the same, and this is happening after 5 years. The question can also be asked as the money becomes 4 times in 10 years. Okay, and you can be asked to find out what will be the, or how many years it will take for the money to become 64 times. So what you can do is, in 10 years it is 4 times, then in the next 10 years it will be 16 times, and in the next 10 years it will be 16 into 4, 64. So it will be 64 times. Such questions can be asked. Okay, so in this case it will be total 5 years plus 5 plus 5, which is equal to 15. So total 15 years it will take for that money to become 27 times. The next example, at what rate of compound interest rupees 125 will become 216 in 3 years? Okay, so it is a case of compound interest. Initially the P, that is the principal, is 125 and it becomes 216. That means A is 216, T is 3 years, that is time is 3 years, and the rate of interest is not given to us, it is asked. So let us note down whatever is given. P is equal to 125, A is equal to 216, T is equal to 3. We want to find out what is R, that is rate of interest. So amount formula is P into 1 plus R divided by 100 raised to T. This whole thing raised to T. After substituting the values, we will get 216 equal to 125 in bracket 1 plus R divided by 100, this whole thing cube. We can take this 125 here down in the denominator, and 216 divided by 125 equal to this quantity. Okay, now we want to find out what is this R, and here this is cube. If we take cube root on both sides, what will happen? Taking cube root means this full term raised to 1 by 3 and this full term raised to 1 by 3. Okay, so it is 1 by 3, 3 will get cancelled. We will be left with 1 plus R divided by 100, and cube root of this is what? 6. Cube root of 216 is 6. Cube root of 125 is 5. That is 5 into 5 into 5 is 125. Hence cube root of 125 is 5. Similarly for 6. And this one we can take it on the other side, it becomes minus 1. So 6 divided by 5 minus 1 is equal to R divided by 100. This is nothing but 1 divided by 5 equal to R divided by 100. This 100 we can take it on the other side. It becomes R equal to 100 divided by 5, which is equal to 20. Therefore, the rate of interest is 20%. Thank you, students.